Alec Baldwin has spent his time, as we asked that question, like, why was he pointing the gun? Well, I don't know. But also, why is it ironic? Before we even talk about the blanks or anything, it's ironic because of three things. Number one, Alec Baldwin, back in 2018, was a staunch critic of the NRA. He was trying to get the NRA defunded by encouraging protests, by encouraging people to revolt against them, by trying to get their funding taken away. And Dana Lash, who, by the way, I believe technically kind of started here at the Blaze, was the head of the NRA at the time. He really ripped into her and tore into her. And we know that the NRA, is that responsible gun owners are still responsible for pretty much zero of intentional deaths by guns in this country. That actually, if you really want to attack the gun problem, you got to attack suicide and predominantly gangs, specifically black gangs. If you really want to talk about guns, it's a mental health issue and a racial issue too. So that's really what's the problem. But gun crime as a whole, like mass murders and stuff, is not really predominantly done by white people, as is thought. They think mass murders are done by white people. When you shoot people mass as a black person, you get released on bail from jail and get praised as a misunderstood child, like we saw here in Arlington, Texas. Remember?
I can't believe that.
But if you're white, of course, you're automatically guilty. I do just want to say, though, that as somebody who's against an organization that promotes gun rights and gun safety, maybe if he had spent less time trying to defund them and more time buying an NRA membership and learning about how to use a gun, that was going to your point, he might have known that one of the first things you do, not before you point guns at people, because you don't do that,
no, you don't
but before
do
you even are going to bring the gun around, you should clear the chamber, especially if you're not on a round, make sure there's nothing inside of it, because you always assume the gun is loaded. That's like basic shit that you should know. And the fact that this guy walks around going, I think the NRA is bad, Dana Lash is a bitch. It's like, okay, buddy. Well, it looks like you don't, again, another anti-gun activist that doesn't know anything about guns ends up killing somebody with a gun. Okay, dude, well, I'm a responsible gun owner, and I've killed 0 people with my firearm, and you are against gun rights, and you killed people. Shut up.
I think that was the first thing that occurred to me, though, when I was reading this story, is besides, 2 people, one person's been injured, one's lost their life, totally unnecessary, did not have to happen. Then the thought that immediately followed was, if these people, these anti-gun proponents, actually knew anything about firearm safety, if they actually knew anything about how to handle a gun, how to use a gun, anything like that, these sort of things would be better avoided. These things probably would not happen. But you have someone who I would say probably doesn't own a gun himself, or maybe he's a hypocrite. Maybe he's one of these dicks that's out in public going, oh, guns are bad, and then behind the scenes actually has a stockpile of them, because those people exist as well.
Well, he's probably got security.
Well, this is, yes. Yeah. Other people can shoot people for me.
See, my first thought was I was just sad that it wasn't a scene where his character killed himself.
Yeah. Oh, shit. I joked. I literally joked right now.
But no, you're 100% right. Like, anytime...
I don't know if we're allowed to say that.
Anytime...
It's a movie.
Yeah, in Minecraft. No, but it's also what's crazy, too, is I want to point the hypocrisy of these people is it's not just the gun things. Is the fact that they're always talking about like they're against gun violence, and then they're always making movies about
with
he's
guns.
He's like a
using
producer.
Guns.
They're using guns to make money, and then they complain about gun violence and literally show gore and people dying on movies.